Evening, Jim here, Treach Farms. Been separating cattle today. We weighed all the feeders and finishers, separated them all out. We separate 800 pounders and up in one pasture and 799 pounders and down in another. I just want to show you the 10-acre pasture that we put the 799 pounders and down in, and kind of explain how we raise our cattle and what pasture raised means versus grass fed. As you can see, we've got big water tank out here for them. Right over there's a feeder, the green thing, and that's got corn in it, and it's free choice corn. Notice there ain't any cattle around it. And out here is our 10-acre pasture, and I promise you there's 18 calves in here that are 800 pounds or less. And there's the corn, and nowhere to be found. And this is what the pasture looks like. Plenty of clover and grasses. Americans have become accustomed to having corn-fed or corn-finished beef, and they like the flavor of that taste. But if you just feed corn and confine them down to an area, then they just get really fatty on the exterior of the meat, right underneath the hide, and that really doesn't do us any good. What we want is the marbling to be fatty, and the marbling is actually a polyunsaturated fat, which is healthy for you. Our grass-fed, or our 100% grass-fed people like to always argue with me that there's so many more omega-3s, there's double the omega-3s in grass-finished beef than there is corn-finished. Well, the study I seen from, I believe it was Texas A&M, shows there's like, and I don't remember the exact numbers, it's like 0.03 in corn-finished and 0.06 in grass-fed finished. So yeah, it's double, but understand you can eat one salmon patty and get your omega-3s for the day, or you're gonna have to eat about 200 pounds of beef to get your omega-3s for the day. There's really not, omega-3s is not the arguing factor if anybody tries to tell you that, because there's not enough of them in the meat to make a difference. Oh, here we go. I'm starting to see some cattle over here. But corn is like a candy to these guys. It's a dessert, you know, just like to a kid. You know, they want the ice cream, they want the candy. So we make it available to them. And it does help. You know, corn is actually an energy food. It's not necessarily a protein, you know, 7 to 9% protein, so that's not where they gain all their muscle and stuff from. But this is how we raise our animals for meat. It's a 10-acre pasture. Right now there's 18 of them out here, 799 pounds and down. And they will go to eat the corn and get some water, and then they'll come back out and eat more grass. And I mean, it's no different than the wild deer, the squirrels, the raccoons. All animals love corn, and if it's available, they're going to go eat it. So if you're willing to eat a wild deer, there's no reason to not be willing to eat a pasture-raised beef that has access to corn, because it's eating the same thing the wild animals are eating. They've all been out here. Well, 10 of them's been out here all day. 8 of them were just put in, because we're, you know, bringing them in from all different pastures and getting them set up for the next 30 days, and then we'll weigh them again and see how they're doing. We try to weigh every 30 days, keep track of how much weight they're gaining per day. And they know what that green feeder is up there because I pulled it out of the pasture that the 10 of them were in. And the pasture that the 8 were in also had a feeder in it. So they know that's corn, plus they can smell it. But as you can tell, we're not confined operation. It's called pasture raised. And be sure to ask your farmers, ranchers that are supplying you with beef, even your local ones, you know, what kind of paddock they're raising the beef in, how they're feeding them. Are they in some little bitty paddock where they ain't getting any exercise? I really believe the exercise is a major factor. And it looks like they all came up to get some water. But yeah, exercise, I believe, helps build their muscles and makes them a better tasting animal. You know, besides the genetics that we work on so much here at Treach Farms. You know, we did grade out at 54% prime last year when I think the national average was around 9%. And that's how we guarantee all of our beef choice or better. But I just thought you might enjoy seeing how the beef are growing out here and what kind of area they grow in and how we take care of them. As always, if you have any questions, reach out to us.